Boxing legends from Rocky Balboa to Brian Mitchell to Baby Jakes all know what it takes to be at the top of the game. It's about training, it's about discipline, it's about speed, it's about timing. But what about boxing as a form of anger management and teaching respect for self and others? Fight with Insight attempts to do just that. This voluntary program works with youngsters who exhibit aggressive, asocial behavior. Those who've been victims of abuse or those who have perpetrated crimes themselves. It offers boxing as a step towards remolding negative behavior.
We strip away all your bad habits, we put the good habits in.
Anton Gilmore is a former world title champion, founded the Box Office Gym, and is now the coach and trainer for the Fight with Insight program.
Luke Lamprecht approached me and said, Anton, these kids have made mistakes, how are we going to help them? And he said, put a program together where we get these kids back on track. But in essence, it's a second chance, and everybody deserves that. We all make mistakes, and we need to be shown the right path.
Luke Lamprecht of the Teddy Bear Clinic saw a gap and introduced boxing as one alternative to community service.
We started a diversion program many years ago for young people who got involved in social contact crimes. So that's sexual assault, and those kind of things. Once they had finished, we thought, sure, they've really made huge progress. Their insight and esteem has changed, but there's nothing for them to go to. So what's interesting is boxing, because it is social contact as well, and it teaches discipline.
We've trained about 20 kids in the program so far. You're not going to have a 100% success rate, we understand that. But we've helped 19 kids. One kid has fallen off, but the 19 have made it good.
The program appointed a research psychologist to follow the participants over a year and monitor their progress.
Well, the biggest findings are, interestingly, that the discipline that they learn in the boxing gym, they generalize to the rest of their lives. You'll hear some of the guys saying, since I started boxing, I feel good about myself. I get to the boxing gym on time, so I have to get to school on time. So there's a sense of it carries through, and that's what we were hoping.
In addition, the program is supported by positive role models and boxing champions like Brian Mitchell, who successfully defended his world title 14 times.
Boxing takes them out of the streets. It keeps them out of fighting in the streets and committing crimes. I was one of those youngsters as well. Grew up in a tough neighborhood, and boxing is what kept me out the streets. Changed my life, actually.
I guess a lot of these youngsters have just got so much bottled up aggression that here they're channeling it in a way.
Well, that's right. The fight game teaches you controlled aggression, and I suppose that's where Anton Gilmore as a trainer and me as a motivator will teach the youngsters as well. That controlled aggression. Don't go out there fighting in the streets. Use it in the gym.
While his mother worked, Brandon was left to the streets. He was often in trouble at school and getting into fights.
Yeah, I was really unhappy and fighting, shouting at teachers, a lot of stuff.
He arrived here, he was 8 years old. He said, I want to learn how to box, and very cocky. And I said, fine, we'll teach you how to box.
In just 2 years, Brandon has made a complete turnaround.
He's a very good little guy now. He tries hard. Funny enough, he can teach other kids how to box because he has a leadership quality in him, and you can see it immediately. And in the future, he'll be running one of my gyms.
Brandon, just tell me how you feel that boxing has helped you.
It's helped with my homework, my schoolwork, not fighting, not moaning at the teachers, not backchatting my mom, no more getting into troubles at streets and stuff like that.
So you haven't been fighting at school? When was your last fight at school?
I can't even remember the way it was so long.
Tsepo was 18 and a graduate of the Diversions program. He was found guilty for a social contact crime and received a 5-year suspended sentence.
Actually, I can say I was one of the guys who were always running away when you have done something wrong.
So do you feel that boxing has really helped you, Tsepo?
Yeah, boxing and the diversions, they've helped me a lot, because even now I can speak to the guys that we were doing wrong things. I can be a leader to them.
Tsepo is probably the biggest leader we got in the group here. He's quiet, he's humble, he sits in the background, he listens. He wants to be a champion.
Also in the Diversions program for a social contact crime is Mandla. Boxing has helped him to take responsibility for his mistakes.
I've learned that you have to discipline yourself, respect others, and you must think before we act.
A number of the young people from Fight with Insight have come from violent backgrounds. But now it seems that you're teaching them what could be a way to harm other people.
And it's not like that. They develop a respect for pain. They develop a respect for other people. We've got an ethos here at the gym. If you see the man is cowering in the corner, you don't finish. You show compassion.
So why teach boxing? Well, boxing has rules that parallel those in life. Abiding by the referee's decisions, accepting the judge's verdict, and once the fight is over, moving on without resentment.
It is really all about, under extreme anxiety, being able to be completely centered and focused, you know, and have regard for the other, because he's equally scared and he's an equal partner in the sport.
It's boxing. Boxing is boxing. Boxing, you win, you hurt someone else, you compete with someone else, and these are issues that these kids have to learn to deal with differently.
Not all psychologists agree. Independent clinical psychologist Dorianne Wheel doesn't support the idea of boxing as an appropriate means of therapy.
They need to learn empathy, concern, and understanding, not just fighting, however gently they do it.
If you learn that there's an equal interplay between people and you learn to respect the rules, you learn to control your emotions, you don't get all angry because someone has hit you, you will be able to learn to control a lot of your impulses. Because the boxing gym is just a metaphor. You're confronted with something, you have to learn to spar and parry, and you have to take what comes to you, you have to give a little bit back. So the boxing ring is a conversation, and life is the same conversation.
For more relatively healthy young people who've learned the basis of trust, of respect, of other people, of accessing and dealing with their own feelings appropriately, this might be an added bonus, but not a substitute.
The boxers say that it's not all about aggression, it's about respect and humility.
Okay, let me knock you out with the greatest respect, Derek, and be humble about it in the end.
For some, though, boxing has surprisingly become a vehicle to regain self-respect.
Since I came to boxing, it really have changed a lot of anger and stuff. Because I used to cut and I used to harm myself.
Jay, not her real name, has come to boxing after a lifetime of violence and abuse.
It started since when I was the age of 3 years old, when I was raped by my father and when my father went to prison. And then my mom had a lot of problems at home because she used drugs and she used to drink a lot. And then my father came out of prison and he came back home. And then I was just abused a lot, and then my father and my mom sold me to Nigerians for prostitutes and stuff. But that was the age of 7, and I used to be hurt all the time, and it only stopped now.
Do you see boxing helping you to find something meaningful for the future?
I never actually went to school in my whole life. I was always locked up at home, you know. And some boxing have changed a lot, you know, and it gave me hope to become somebody. But I don't actually want to become a boxer, but I do want to become an artist.
But it's giving you the confidence to do both.
Yes, it is, yes. It's giving me hope for every day.
I think what happened for the girls in particular was that they started to gain a sense of power back over their lives, because abuse is about the removal of power, and they can stand up and they can put their hands up and they can, you know, they can slug it out a little bit, and it gave a bit of control back.
They've been trained by the best in the business, and our lightweight champs are ready to fight. They've come in below the weight limit and they're all padded up. It's competition night, and this is when it all counts.
But.
World champion Baby Jake came to support Brandon Tsepo and Mandla, who all chose to enter the Southern Giant Championships.
Now, the Insight program's designed to build confidence and self-respect. But what about when they lose here?
Out of 67 fights, I lost 10. There's one guy who beat me 4 times, but I never lost hope. I knew one day, deep down in my heart, I'm going to beat him one day, and I'm going to be better than him. So boxing is one sport that teaches you to have patience, that you must wait, your turn will come. If you lose, it's not the end of the world.
This was a powerful lesson for Brandon, who lost his fight to his opponent based on points. But with the team support around him, he later won the hand-pad competition. Tsepo in the red took a knock in the first round, and due to an injury didn't complete his fight. But he's back in training for the next one. And Mandla easily knocked his opponent out in the first round, winning his bout.
That's my winning combo.
That's your winning combo.
Yeah.
While they may not be able to win them all, the Fight with Insight program is not going to be throwing in the towel anytime soon.
I feel really good that I'm actually helping kids, and I think a lot more boxing champions should step up to the plate and also start helping out, because we can do wonders with boxing.